Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a man back for a 15th NFL season. Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants take on Alex Smith and the Washington Redskins. With that, let's get on up to FedEx Field near Washington. Standing by for the call of this one, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Just as we were getting ready for air, both teams coming out of their locker rooms, out of the tunnel, and this crowd is pumped up as their Redskins get set to match up with Eli Manning and the New York Giants. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they interplay here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game,
yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
Two touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Now a play fake here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Shotgun now for Manning. And this is Latimer, complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
He can hit him underneath now, can't he?
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion. The maturity of a veteran taken what the defense will give him.
They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Preston Smith in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
Boy, did they ever. And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now the first running back drafted this year is Saquon Barkley. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 12 yards is the pickup there, and it'll be third down.
And you remember pre-draft, there's a lot of speculation that the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? And the starting offense now for the Giants.
Great time to focus on a healthy group of pass catchers. How about Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram? Because health is the key for them. When they're right, they stack up against just about any threesome in the NFL. 2 terrific wide receivers and a tight end that's hard to cover.
Now Manning. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback, or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bump the ball for their routes, chip away at their timing so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game?
A look here on your screen at how Washington's going to line up defensively. Against the pass, they've had some issues, ranked number 23 in the NFL right now.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll run it now out of the dome. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Give the tackle there to Josh Norman. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
And here come the Redskins now. So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line. On first down, Smith. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. A gain of 32 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 24. Now the first carry for Adrian Peterson. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22. The numbers for him from a week ago: 11 carries, 58 yards.
And a rushing title is definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there, but they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their expense.
To throw on second down is Smith. Out to the left, it's complete to Dyson. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. On third down, that's Peterson. And now running right through it. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. A stop there on third. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on first and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there. And I'd go right at them with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop them on third down.
Throwing is Smith. They'll roll him out right. They'll drop it off to Pirine, complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. He'll get only 2 there, and it's second and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Second and goal from inside the 5. They give it to him running left. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Now Smith on third and goal. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this was all about letting the offense just get settled in.
As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On second down, here's Barkley. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Giants on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Manning. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 29 yards on third down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On first down, Manning. And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it into the Redskins. How did they do?
What part do they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
him.
No
one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. A modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. Completes it right side to Dodson. And through that time.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent
field for good yardage. They'll run with Peterson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown. Washington touchdown now on the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep your assignments. Let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking. Beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the lead grows to 10-0. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you? Rush coming, and he's taken down. Preston Smith, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Working from the gun, Manning. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a
far. This will be 3rd and 19. Operating from the gun, Manning. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's over.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. At the end of one, 10-zip our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Stewart. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Back deep for the Redskins, Jamison Crowder. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll fake it. Now Smith. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Olivier Vernon. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Third and long, it's Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And our players Players spotlight now as we turn our attention to Eli Manning. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that bit. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, Manning on the catch. This is Russell Shepard. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Operating from the gun. Manning. He dumps it off to Barkley. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Crowder now to return. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he is down deep into Giant territory. A huge play there for Washington. 56 yards. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today. A guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Hey, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Chris Thompson with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. Well, they ran the toss, trusting he had the speed to get to the edge, and he did.
And there really wasn't any doubt about that because the scouting report told you that this guy could flat out run. When you give him a little bit of space and a chance to get there, he usually does.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now out come the Giants. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
They've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Manning. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
This is taken at the 10. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Back to throw, Smith. And this one is incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Smith. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And he's brought down. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker. You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now Manning. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They give it to Peterson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Now it's Smith. This one caught by Crowder. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. That goes for a gain of 31. Smith on first down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning them into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On second down, here's Manning to Shepard, complete over the middle. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Throwing on first down is Manning. To Barkley on the check down. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it's a second down. Again, they'll throw with Manning. They'll get this out to Barkley, complete. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now Manning again. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Now they'll run it on the toss. Spins past him. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. Handoff comes to Peterson. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And Hopkins' kick is good. So we've reached halftime here in D.C. in our nation's capital with a home team, the Redskins, on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get this started up in Orchard Park, an AFC's matchup with the Jets in town to take on Buffalo. And it's the Jets who have the lead with that one getting close to halftime. Bilal Powell, a touchdown run. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Lamar Miller, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And that one all tied against the visiting Saints. In the game you're watching, it's been the veteran Alex Smith with a strong first half. His guys take the lead into the third quarter as we head back to FedEx Field and Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Alex Smith and the offense heading out for their next possession. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Hey, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5.
Yellow. Slot, slot.
Out of the gun, Smith. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Throwing is Manning on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. Fielded at the 33. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Alex Smith and company heading back out there now. The lead is theirs here in the third quarter, but it's really been the ground game that's been the recipe for success.
You mean the spotlight isn't shining as brightly on the guy throwing it?
No, it's the man behind him that's had a heck of a game.
And that's really okay. That's actually what you're looking for. I mean, your pride tells you, hey, I want to be responsible. I want to throw a bunch of touchdown passes. But when you're able to run the football, typically speaking, your team's doing pretty well. And in this case, they're winning.
We'll see if they have balance on this drive.
I said 980. Settle down, huh? Let's go. Let's go. 15.
To throw on second down is Smith. Airing one out for Crowder. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a fourth pick. And it's third down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
On third down, that's Thompson. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now. 1st and 10, down at the 31.
Double. Get 980. Back up. I said I
Now a give to Peterson running left.
Wins and gives up no yardage on a running play. That's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
Three down. Hey, back up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Space to run past the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Chris Thompson, his second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. Extra point good by Hopkins. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. But you got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
So they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Skirts by him at the 35, and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Yeah, he was the first back taken in the draft, ended up going number 2 to the Giants, and there was never a doubt that he would be the first runner off the board. And we just saw why. His ability with the ball in his hands to turn a nice little gain into something big. He makes plays no matter how you get him the ball.
The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
A first down carry for Barkley. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And so we're into maneuver. There goes Jonathan Stewart. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Jonathan Stewart with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense, get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And that will get him one closer. Marshall now, the return. And with flags down, he's up near the 40. But it looks like this one might be coming back.
Holding, receiving team.
So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Peterson gets the call running left. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll try the air now with Smith. He's got his man on the crossing route. The 30, 10, and he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Jamison Crowder, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And the Giants ready to come out now. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Shepard. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block it. But short of that, the quarterback,
he can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Zach Brown in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Fielded just inside the 20. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Hey, on.
They run. Peterson. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
They run again with Peterson. Not a whole lot of room to run. Gets it to the 35 after showcasing the great move. Olivier Vernon brings him down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
9 yards on the play and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Another tote for the workhorse here this afternoon, Peterson. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. Touchdown, Washington. Chris Thompson, 51 yards. And this Redskins offense is running away with this one. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Extra point good by Hopkins. And that will extend this big lead. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. Manning now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Manning. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Manning again here on 2nd and 10. And he goes out right around the 39. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
On 3rd down, Barkley. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been terrific so far. He'll return it from the 6. A nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Where Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. The Redskins on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the gun, here's Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turns into a nice play.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I really enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give them 12 yards on that one. It earns them a fresh set of downs.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. They'll run with Thompson. And some space here. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. A drive there of just 4 plays, and a long run there in the end to top it off. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now Manning throwing on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. He finds Beckham complete. Odell Beckham Jr. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
That's a whole lot of points still to be down. But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
It's like my old high school coach used to say, Charles. He said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed up.
Could have saved the gas money, the hotel, what have you, huh?
Rosas to add the extra point. Rosas good with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Rosas now to kick this one away. Marshall now the return. And fights through one man. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. Peterson. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
3 down. 3 down. Set. Line 80. Hey, watch his flat. Watch his flat. Watch his flat. Watch his flat.
Carry number 20 now for Peterson. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Redskins on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Set. Line 80. Check 93.
They'll run it. Here's Peterson. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Redskins, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Giants, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.